Shano and I go head-to-head with our picks for Tokyo. We're discussing a hot new theory on legacies, and then we go back to our roots. Is the sports betting syndicate back? As we look at some of the lines for Tokyo. All that coming up, but first, it's Kenny G and the Track Stitch Band.
Champion, Riders bearing down on top of Ngugi. Ngugi digs deep and he's got no ball. And Andrew Lloyd wins it up.
Récupéré ensuite chez lui au Maroc à Ifrane.
La Douane, il est parti à la Douane, il a tenté le coup du siècle là.
Oui,
surprendre tout le monde. Au 800.
Final of the men's 10,000 meters in 19.
Stop the ball out. Oh, it looks to be. Who else is in the race? The wave is there. The confidence is there.
Friday, September the 12th, one day before the World Track and Field Championship starts in Japan. Shane Alphonsus Rhodey, joining from Auckland, New Zealand. You're a bit under the weather, mate.
I am a little bit, mate. I've just been grinding away behind the desk.
I don't know what that means, but all right. Yeah. Anyway, children-friendly podcast, so we're all good. Hey, so up on deck. We'll make it quick today. We'll see if we can power through this one. We're going to go over our picks. You and I, we're going to go head-to-head here in a bit of a contest. We decided to basically pick or make 60 picks here for Tokyo. We're doing 10 events, first, second, and third for the men's side and the women's side. Some events we've omitted because we really have got absolutely no idea what's going on. Basically, all of the field events and the marathons. Shane, you care to put a bit of a wager on this one? What do you reckon?
Oh, maybe a hot dog at the turn, Tiare, the burger dog, and maybe chuck in a little cheeky Coke Zero as well for good measure.
Right. I'm already potentially on the hook for this one after our bet whether Jakob is going to run the 15 and the 5K, but I guess we could double down on that one. Hey, before we get into, so I need to make an apology and a retraction from the last podcast, the historic podcast. So on the last one, we were talking about Billy Kinsella. We had him ranked number 6 on our list of most memorable moments when he won that Tokyo 800. And I actually said that Billy Kinsella had passed away. And then I got a text from Billy Kinsella's family. No, I didn't. It was from Justin Rinaldi, the great Justin Rinaldi, 800-meter coach, saying Billy Kinsella hasn't died. What are you talking about? And it turns out that he hasn't died, and I said incorrectly that he had. It was his brother. It was his brother, actually, Patrick Kinsella, who was, I think, third in the 800 meters in either the 97 or the 99 worlds over 800. He passed away, but Billy is alive and kicking. So there you go. And then another one, Jonathan Galt from Let'sRun.com. We had this discussion over Billy going into those worlds cold, because obviously that's what Jakob Ingebrigtsen is doing in these world champs. And he said, no, he didn't. He ran. I'm reading an article here from the LA Times that says that he ran the Kenyan trials in 91. And so that could be true as well. So there you go. You can't believe everything that you hear on the internet or this podcast. But you know what, mate? If I can be right 85% of the time, all of the time, then we're doing okay. So anyway, apologies to Billy. Apologies to any distress that may have been caused by claiming that Billy Kinsella passed away. He's alive and kicking. All right, okay. So into the picks. Right. So what we're going to do is we went through and we made our picks. We've got 60 of them here. And before the podcast started, we said the way we're going to score it is you only get a point. This is like guru level stuff. You only get a point if you pick the person in their particular place. There's none of this. Oh, I picked Noah Lyles to win the 200, but he finished third, so you get like a charity point. We're going large. We're going home, Shano.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Okay. So should we go through quickly what we've got and see if we just identify any potential?
Yeah, should we do it event by event? You can lead. I'm just going to pull my screen up to.
Yeah.
1 second.
Okay. Should we do the women's side first?
Sure.
All right. Okay. Women's 100. This is for me in order. We can go through this really quickly. I have Melissa Jefferson Wooden in the gold medal position, Julian Alfred in the silver, and I have got Ms. White coming in third place, bronze, Kayla White.
Okay, so I have Jefferson Wooden 1, Alfred 2, and Tarlo in third.
Nice. Okay, so that's a potential. That's a potential point pick there. In the 200, I have got the reversed order. Remember the rarity that was pointed out last week on the historic podcast of the 1-2 triple double. Would it be? I have Julian Alfred winning the 200, MJW in second, and Brittany Brown in third.
I have the exact same picks.
There you go. So no points to be had there. 400 meters. I think this is where it gets a little bit interesting for us. I have Paulino winning, NASA second, and SML third. Sydney McLaughlin.
Okay. I have NASA winning, SML second, and Paulino third.
Yeah. That was a difficult event for me. I see that actually the betting favourite right now, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, is actually Sydney McLaughlin, which we could debate that one, but either way, she is the better's pick. 800 meters, I'm going to guess that we have got a very, very similar one here. Keely Hodgkinson for the gold, Georgia Hunter Bell for second, and Audrey Vero for third. Is that your?
Well, I'm going to shock you because I'm going against the grain here. I've got a bit of a theory. I've got Audrey. Is it Vero for the win? Yeah. I've got Keely.
Whoa!
I do. We'll explore that a little bit more in detail.
No, let's go now. Let's do it now because we're not coming back. We're going quick today.
All right.
Please explain.
I think just so I can eyeball you while I find you on my screen. 1 second.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was something an intuition I had, and then I read an article that Ko had been quoted saying she's a titan. She's so mentally strong. She's incredible, but she needs to be wary of if you've had a lot of time off, you can come out of the blocks real fast, because you're sort of fresh and eager, and then it can wear down a little bit from that point. And if you don't have a season's racing in your legs, and these people have been on the up, and look, it's a bit of a sort of shock and awe pick. Do I really, in my heart of hearts, think she's going to lose? I don't know, but I just think Vera is 155 high. She's on the up. If Keely falters, and Keely's going to lead it, that's what she usually does. I don't know. I just thought I knew you'd pick Keely, so I thought.
No, that's.
If I had to put money on Vera to win, would I know? But I just thought this could be a chance to get a bit of separation here.
I love the logic.
Yeah.
The only thing I would counter to that is that I feel like what's a 155.9 race for Keely Hodgkinson here? Is that a B day or a B minus day for her at her B plus? I think that So basically,
it's the other thing too is it's really hard to get it done in championships. Like in that Olympic final last year, Mary Moraa, in her previous incarnation didn't show up, and if she had been on that shoulder coming off the bends with all that pressure, and I know some of that pressure on Keely's been alleviated somewhat by winning the Olympics, but it's bloody hard to win back-to-back world titles. And the other one, I sort of went up and down over this. The other one I think could actually beat is Hunter Bell, because if Keely messes up the pace in any way, a bit like Jakob did in the Olympics in the 1500, if she's slightly too quick, Hunter Bell is expert at sitting off the pace. She could charge through. I mean, it's not inconceivable. She's a 155.9 runner now as well. I don't know.
I mean, you're right. We've seen it before. And I just think like with Hodgkinson, I called her on a previous podcast the excellence of execution. She holds the Brett Hitman Hart card right now for excellence of execution. I would just struggle to see how she gets it wrong. She's so measured. She does everything really well. She's proven she can do it on the bigger stage. But like you've said, man, stranger things have happened. And I don't.
And she's just so much.
Hate logic.
Yeah, she's so much better too. Like she's sort of second and a half, if not more, in the right race. So it's more of a conversation starter than a real. I really believe in this.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. No, love it. Awesome. Okay. Picks are in. 1,500 meters. I'd be surprised if we differ on this one. Faith Kipyegon to win. Jessica Hull in second place. And with the news of a unfortunate situation involving the Ethiopian Federation, I have promoted Nikki Hiltz to the bronze medal position.
Oh yeah, we're the same with the first two. Ooh. No, I think it's a step too far for Nikki Hiltz. I've got Chip Churcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I think Nikki Hiltz has never really been that great in the big finals. I mean, I think she's a very good performer in US domestic races, and I think she's got a good kick. There's no doubt about that. But when the heat is really on, they're sort of that low 350s, high 349s, high 340s pace. I think she sort of fades to the pack. There are better people that are coming through for the minor medals than her. If I had to bet on it, which I have.
Yep. Fair enough. Yep. All right, moving forward, the 5,000 meters. I have got Chibet winning, Kipyegon, who's appearing to double as she did in the Olympics, in second place, and Gudaf Sige in the bronze. What have you got?
Is this the 5? Sorry, the 5.
The 5. We're on the 5K. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Chibet, Kipyegon, and Ingetich in third.
So no Sige. You think she's going to blow a gasket potentially in this one?
You will get to the 10 in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think she'll try and win it and not podium. That's what I think will happen. Because I just don't think she's anywhere near as good as Chibet or Kipyegon in the championship 5,000.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one. She obviously, we discussed this on an earlier pod, potentially could have run. I mean, she absolutely could have run way under 350 in that race in Cilicia. Maybe not have challenged the world record, but certainly run a lot faster through the 800 in 2 minutes as opposed to Kipyegon 203. Bit of a shock to me that she's not running the 1,500 here. I definitely think she could be a medal contender in that one. But yeah,
the problem.
I'm kind of with you actually. I don't like that pick for myself.
The problem with her is in the championship 5,000 is she's brilliant at running away from fields that are not really at her level in, say, the 1,500 or a paced 5,000. You put her in with the other heavyweights like Chibet, Kipyegon, and she has to run with them. It seems like her mind takes over the matter, so to speak, and it feels like she then is more prone to doing sort of crazy things. And those sort of championship 5Ks usually come down to a war of attrition and hanging together and then kicking, and she's never really been. Oh, she did win that world champs, but anyway, that's my logic for it.
Yeah, all good. Okay, 10K. I've got Chibet doubling back as she did in the Olympics to win that one as well. Second place, Janeth Chimnatich, no relation to Ruth, I believe. And I've got the Italian stallioness, Nicola Battacletti, repeating the bronze medal from Paris, coming in third, just because love to see the Europeans on the podiums for this one. How about you?
Is Sige in the 10? She entered?
I can't honestly answer that. And the reason I can't is just because they've got such a weird selection policy.
I know. I couldn't figure it out either.
So I think she might be. Don't.
Okay. Well, I've got it. I've got Chibet for the win. I've actually got, contrary to my views on the 5, I've got Sige in the 10, and I've got Echegute in third. And the reason I got Sige in the 10 is I think in a longer race, her and Chibet will separate, and then I think Chibet will deal to her in the final. But I think that Tsegay is like still considerably better aerobically than the rest of them, and she'll outlast the rest.
She's just she's a perplexing athlete to try and pick in this environment.
Yes.
Because for a number of reasons. I mean, it's very difficult. She had that great season in 23, kind of a terrible season in 24. Seems like she's back again now. I don't really know. Okay.
Should we have given this is the inaugural picks comp, Track Stitch, should we have like a Tsegay rule? If you pick Tsegay in the right place in either of her events, then now it's obviously in my advantage here in the sense I've got her in the 10 as well, but maybe you get 2x points.
Yeah, okay, you get 2 instead
Tsegay
of 1.
in the right place. Yeah.
All right, you get Tsegay'd. All right. Yeah, cool. All right, done, locked in. Steeplechase. This is where things get a little bit murky, at least for me, probably for you too. I've got a reasonable idea of just having watched the Diamond League this year, who's in form. I've got Yavi winning, Faith Cheretich in second, and Pamela Chemutai in third.
I have, sorry. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, mate.
No, you're good.
Not quite with it today. Okay, so Steeplechase woman, where are we? I've got Yavi, Cheretich, and Chemutai. Is that what you said?
So that's a strike off. There'll be no points on that one.
Yeah.
110 hurdles. Again, like this is where it gets the hurdle races are in general murky because just anything could go wrong. Someone clips a hurdle, timing is off on a day.
Should we just run through these? But you and I don't know anything about these things. So who have you got?
Well, easy. I was a hurdler of some ill repute back in the day, in my early days. No, I wasn't. All right, Masai Russell, Akira Nugent, and I have Stark in third.
I've got Russell, Stark, and Williams in third.
Okay.
Yeah.
400 hurdles. I think probably this one was a reasonably easy one. Femke Bol to repeat as champion, based simply because Sydney McLaughlin-Lebrone is only doing the flat 400. Anna Cockrell second, Delilah Muhammad third.
Exactly the same.
Okay, good. Right, on to the men's. And before we start this one, I mean, obviously the big story on the men's side is just this Ingebrigtsen situation. Because of that, the 1500s and 5Ks, either like if you believe he's going to be in any kind of shape, like which it's impossible to, I guess, when he says he's in shape, almost everything he said he is going to do or wants to do in his career, he has. So when he says he's in shape and good to go and run, it's like, do you take that as some kind of youthful hubris, or do you really believe it? Because if you believe that he's going to be in shape, you have to rank him, obviously, to figure in the 1500 and in the 5K. But if you don't, it's just a really, really interesting situation. I thought I'd preface the men's side before we get into the picks. Me personally, I've got absolutely no idea. I mean, there was this NRK report yesterday that came through that sounded a little bit pessimistic with respect to his chances of even starting. And then today, he put something out on Instagram doing a track workout and everything seems good to go. The heat lists haven't been released for the men's 1500 yet. I'm guessing they're going to come up within the next 3 to 4 hours, 48 hours before the start. So we're actually going to find out if he has officially declared. But anyway, let's go on the picks. We'll start with the hundreds. I have got Noah Lyles winning this race. I've got Kenny Bednarek in second. And then I kind of hate this pick, but I made it anyway because I feel like if he's healthy, he will probably win. So I'm not sure if, I don't know what I'm assuming here, but I have got Shane Thompson in third.
I've got Lyles for the win, Thompson second, and Seville in third.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, some points to be potentially had in that one. In the 200, I've got Lyles winning that too. I think he's going to do the 1-2 double. I just trust Lance and that setup, and I just, at least for this championships, I trust Noah to get it done. It seems like he's probably on the tail end of his real peak window in the sport, but I think he's still good enough to do it. And Tebogo just hasn't been the same this year. So I'm picking Lyles to win, Tebogo in second, and I've got Bednarek in third.
I've got Lyles, then Bednarek, then Tebogo.
Okay. So, potential scoring opportunity there. 400 meters, Matthew Hudson-Smith. I've got him for the win. Maybe a little bit unlucky in the Olympic Games. Read between the lines on that one. Ja'Cory Patterson, who's really come through this year from the US, in second. And then I'm picking Charlie Dobson from the UK, who I think he was fourth in the DL final. I just think he's, I don't know. I just have this feel. I've got this Roger Black, Ewan Thomasy vibe from him that he may come through here and snag a podium. So that's my top three there.
I've got Patterson for the win. I've got Hudson-Smith in second, and I've got Missoula Samakonga for third.
Okay. All right. All right. Now on to, hey, how about this one? How about we fast forward and we're going to do, do the 10, the 3K steeples and the hurdles, and then we'll come back to the 8, 15 and 5. Okay. 10K. I've got Aragawi for the win, Grant Fisher in second, Salomon Barega in third.
I've got Barega for the win, Mahari in second, Grant Fisher in third.
Okay. 3K steeples. Oh, man, I really liked the white dudes in this one, Rupert and Kenneth Rooks, but this guy just keeps getting it done. He finds ways to win all the time. So I'm picking Sofiane El Bakali for the win. I have Rupert in second, and I've got Kenneth Rooks in third. Kenneth Rooks is going to show up in our gambling, degenerate gambling special at the end here, but that's my trio.
I've got Al Bakali for the win. I've got Gurma in second. I don't even know if he's competing, and I've got Rupert for third.
Okay. 110 hurdles. I think we've mentioned this a few times recently. Yeah. Corradell Tinch for the win. Do you have him?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. I've got Grant Holloway in second, and then Muratake, the hometown favorite, for third.
I almost picked him, but then I went with Broadbell.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good pick too. And the 400 hurdles, it's the usual suspects in this one. I've got Karsten Warholm. I think Warholm is going to win this. I feel like going back to the stadium where he set the world record, there's just always something there's always like a little added factor or bonus there. So I've got Warholm to win. I've got Raya Benjamin in second, and I've got Alison dos Santos in third.
I got Dos Santos in third. I've actually got Benjamin for the win, but I kind of regret it now after you just said that about that stadium. And he has been in superb form. I sort of didn't really know what to do, so I thought, I'll pick Benjamin.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one of those.
It's a bit of a coin flip, really.
Yes, it's 100% coin flip. They're 1-1 this year. Nobody really, whatever. Yeah. Let's see how that one plays out. Okay, on to the meat on the bone, at least for us, the 800 through the 5K. Really, it's the 1,500 and 5K, which are the super interesting ones. In the 800, I have got Emmanuel Wanyonyi to win this. He just seems to look like he's dead and buried in a lot of these races, and he comes through to win for whatever reasons. I've got Muhammad Ataoui, the man who just ran the third fastest 1K recently. I've got him in second because I just really like that he did that. That somehow bodes well for me. Marco Arop, who's been a little bit indifferent this year. I really, and honestly, I don't even know, like with Arop, sometimes I wonder if even he knows what his strategy and tactics are in these races. They seem to change all the time. So I don't really trust that, but I'm going to trust his talent to still be able to snag a medal. How about you?
I think Arop's too unreliable. This year he's so quixotic and up and down. I think Ataoui, again, I think is a bit unreliable. I've gone, this may shock you, and we'll get to this in the dirty sports betting section of this podcast, paying at an 8-1 outsider, but I've gone for Big D for the win. I've got strong reservations around his ability to get through the rounds, given he's had all that time off, and that might weaken him. But if he does, I don't think that race that Hoey won and beat Wanyonyi, I don't think that when you're on his level in that race and the next race in the final, I don't think it was really any better than Brazier was in the US Olympic trials.
Oh, it wasn't.
So,
no. Yeah.
Nah, and I think Donovan has got, well, no, you're the one who put me onto this. He's got a renewed ability or focus on execution that he hitherto didn't have. He always used to just charge out and let his talent take over. But the way he is approaching those first few 100 meters and just inserting himself into races and running on the pole and doing everything right a la Keeley, the way you've discussed, Jace, I just think he's a good pick for this. And I don't think the field is in as good a shape as it was 12 months ago. So I think Big D for the win. And second, I've actually got Max Bergen. I quite like Max Bergen. Oh, no, sorry. No, I don't. I lie. I should have had my screen up. I've got Wanyoni in second. I think he outlasts everyone else. And I've got
the Burgermeister for
Max Bergen. The Bergen, I think he has come of age. He used to flop. I've still got some reservation around that flop at the championships, but his level during the season has been far out. He used to have the odd BMC race in 143 or whatever, then disappear, but he's been consistently one of the best in the world on the circuit, and I think he can get it done for a medal. Well, he's my best bet for a medal. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Points to be had here. Okay. Now, this is what I said at the start. The 1500 5K, there's such interesting events to pick because of this Ingebrigtsen situation. Is he going to start the 15? Is he going to start the 5K? I mean, even I texted you yesterday and said that after that Norwegian NRK article, I wasn't even certain that he was going to start either. But appears now 24 hours later that he is. But it really comes down to what kind of form you think he's in, because not only in the 5K where he's the preeminent championship runner of this era in the distance, it's also how he may potentially impact the 1500 in terms of the pace of the race, right? Even if he doesn't win or doesn't even medal, right? So if he's in that field, if he makes the 1500 final and races the way that we believe he will, it's going to drastically change it. But man, I don't know. It's just so interesting. I cannot remember a World Championships ever where there's been so much intrigue and hype. It's very, very unique situation around a guy at his level. I mean, this would be the same thing with an El Garouge or a Kenenisa Bekele, but it just seems even more interesting because of Jakob's character and maybe the social media era and all this kind of stuff. That being said, I mean, I made this pick a while ago in the men's 15. I haven't changed it even though I wanted to, but I've got Niels Laros, some of the stats on his finishing in these races, these deep 12-second finishes, like 12.5, 12.6 to win Zurich, to win Brussels. Just with everything he's done this year, the work over the 5K, the races over the 800, I've got him to win because I just feel like right now his bandwidth with his ability to finish that hard just gives him the edge. And I've got Josh Kerr in second, even though I'll tell you I really wanted to change this pick and put Kerr into the number one position. But I do this all the time with my NFL picks. On a Sunday morning, I wake up and I get some stupid theory in my mind about why the Cincinnati Bengals are not going to win, and then I move them out and they end up winning. So I'm not going to make the change. And then our countryman and good friend Nick Willis recently on a podcast with 2016 Olympic champion Matthew Centrowitz said that he believed Ethan Strand was going to win this race. That was his big hot take. I'm not quite sure if I'm with Nick on that one, but I've got Ethan Strand for the bronze medal position. Therefore, no Cole Hocker on podium. Shane.
Strand was paying 51 to 1. It's now shortened at the TAB. He's now down to 34 to 1. I'll be definitely chucking a couple of hundy of my hard earned on Ethan Strand. I like Nick's take. I absolutely think Ethan Strand could win this race, and at those odds, I mean, It's good. It's value betting, as we like to say in the industry. I absolutely think Ethan Strand could win, but however, he is not in my picks, so maybe that shows what I really think. I've actually got Big Cole Hocker, and I'll tell you why for the win.
All right.
Because the kicking, as we've often talked about, is it's not who's the quickest, it's who's the strongest. Of those guys with good basic speed. And in the US champs, he wasn't that sharp in the last 100, but I know you and I went back and forth about this, Chase. I was very impressed with him in the 5,000. I know it was a slow pace. You said you should be able to get it done. But Fisher's a 3:48 miler himself. So that makes me think he's remained strong. And if he's thereabouts, the kick and just that ferocity, and he's the defending Olympic champion. He could be a modern day Lassie Viren. He doesn't win a lot, but when he's right there and thereabouts, the big moment. So I like him for the win. Laros, for all the reasons you've said, I've got him still in second. And I've got Kerr because I think Kerr and Laros, it's interchangeable for me. And I think Laros has been running a bit better, but similar type of level. So there you go.
I mean, we've just gone down to equally valid logic paths on this one. Listen, man. I don't know if I feel like I may be exposed as a complete fraud and idiot for not having Hocker in the top 3 here.
Fraud and idiot.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because it's ridiculous, right? He's what, 23 years of age, 24. He's still 23, right? I mean, he's in the absolute prime of his career. He may even be 22, whatever. He's young. He's younger than Jakob. And it seems absurd not to have him in the top 3. But I guess my only logic is this. I felt like he was fortunate in Paris, right? Even though it turned out he was the best athletically on the day, obviously, because he wouldn't have won. But had some things not happened in his favor, he almost certainly wouldn't have won. And I know that's not an excuse, but
didn't you say that Nick Willis told you though that he believed he could have run 3:26 high that day if he didn't get impeded and have to change speeds, and he still won? Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty dominant in Paris. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know if I think that quite that fast. I think he may have been able to run 3:27.2 or 0.3. I mean, that's almost like that's 7 meters up the track. I don't know, but I mean, that's not totally pertinent.
What I'm betting on is I agree the level and the gut or intuitive take is he's not quite at the level compared to the others, and they've come on that he was last year. So on paper, or the year-to-date's form, this calendar year's form, is he a good pick for the win? No. But I just feel like a guy like him who's there or thereabouts, he's run 7:23 earlier in the year, he won the US 5K, he was thereabouts. With that all on the line, to just turn those little rotors over in that last 80 and get the little leg beater, hands pumping, arms pumping, I just think he's a good bet. And out of all those guys, if they're all in a line with 80 to go, I like Cole Hocker.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's impossible to argue with that. I like him too. I just feel like I like Niels Laros better because I think here is one little counter to this. I feel like the race that was set up for Hocker in Paris by Jakob was absolutely perfect for him. His splits were essentially 56, low 152, like high 247. And I feel like that is just that perfect zone for him where he's got that advantage over the rest of the field with his strength and his natural speed. I feel like this race is going to be a little bit slower, and partly because I think even if Jakob makes the final, I don't think he's going to be leading it out as aggressively. So that's one of the reasons why I have Strand in the bronze medal position, is because I think the race is going to be a little bit slower. I could foresee something like low to mid 154, and then I could see kind of like that high maybe 237, 2:38 at the bell, and then I just wonder if Hocker gets himself, or maybe he's not quite as fortunate. And anyway, but in saying that, I'm going to come through with a huge one for you in the 5K. But yeah, should we move on to that one?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Just to touch on, sorry, just quickly. I'm very extraordinarily bearish about Jakob if he runs the 1500. I think I wouldn't even, after the Olympics last year and the last few world champs. But just to counter though, just a little thought I had on the way out there. So I agree. My gut is slower, but if he does run, he does make the final, and I think if he runs, he'll make the final. That'd be extraordinary if he didn't make the final. So he makes the final,
right?
But then I think he's not going to trust that at a slower race he's going to outsprint any of these guys, and I don't think there's like 800, 1,000, 1,200 speed strength. He wouldn't be thinking, well, that's my advantage because he hasn't raced all year. So whilst not optimum for him, I think there is a chance if he runs a 15 and makes a final, that he leads and we get the same type of race that we've had for years. So I don't know, but I just think that is a possibility. And that's why it's so interesting. Yeah.
Yes, that's precisely why we've spent 8 minutes talking about just the 1500 event, because we've just got no idea what is going to happen with this guy and why it's made it probably the most interesting. These two events, easily the most interesting events of the championship, also in recent history. All right, moving on to the 5K. So I think this one is going to surprise you, and it's kind of it's an awesome hot take flyer pick. I did not pick Cole Hocker. You can see where I'm going with this. I did not pick him to medal in the 1500, but I have got Cole Hocker pulling off a shocker, and I have got him winning the world 5,000 meter title this year.
Wow, that is a shock-at-all pick.
It is, and I don't actually like this pick in second, but I've made it anyway. I've got Jakob in second because I feel like he's going to run the 1500, and it's going to help. Because again, I'm assuming that I'm taking a leap of faith, like we all are, that he's healthy. I'm assuming that the 1500 rounds and the final are going to help him get better and better and better. And I'm assuming that he stays healthy. And then I've got Grant Fisher in third. But really the story here is picking Hocker. And the reason why I picked him is because I don't think he's going to medal in the 1500. I think he's going to be pissed off. Then I think this race, I think the 5K is going to go this way. I think it is going to be about an 8:10 through 3K race. I think Jakob is going to then take it on and try and drive the pace, a la all of these classic 5K championship races. But I don't think he is going to quite have the condition to run it as hard as he wants. So I think he's probably going to run that next mile in around 4:7, 4:8, which means that they're going to hit the bell in about 12:16, 12:17, right? And then I feel like Cole Hocker can run close to 52.5 for that final 400. I think he's the only guy in the field that has that anaerobic power, and that's why I think he's going to win.
I quite like it when the odd time that we completely diverge in our takes. Yeah, after he wins me the 1500, which he's going to do, I think he is going to be like he was at the US trials last year. I think, and like he's just going to be a bit apathetic towards it.
Love it.
I also think that I can't remember. I haven't been as avid a student of the sport in the last few years as I was in my youth, but I can't remember a race, a 5,000, where the African contingent / Jakob has put the acid down from a long way out and he's been anywhere near the mix. I've got sort of shades of Bobby Kennedy coming through the 4,200 or with Daniel Coleman and
Hindleston and Garbo.
Yeah, no, I've got what year was it? 97 world champs in Athens when Bobby Kennedy was coming through the thing with and Coleman and Thomas Nairiki put the blowtorch down and he was like 80 meters behind. I just feel like those real 5K guys, because he's a 15, are gonna light it up. I've actually got Jakob, believe it or not. I just think
the one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what shape he's in. I think if he's in 85%, I think you said it yourself once, he won that Olympic race last year, like it was a heat. It was just, he just pissed in. And even that time when he was sick, when he lost the 1500 of the prior year world champs, he still won, even though he was clearly not at his best. So that's, it's hard to know what shape he's in. He could be terrible, but
I know, exactly.
Sorry, I'm just trying to go back to the rest of my picks. I believe I have Grant Fisher as best of the rest and Mahari in third.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's just very hard to know. Yeah.
I don't
hate the Hocker take. I think if the race unfolds in the manner that you just alluded to, absolutely he's got that shot. But for those range of reasons, I think he's out of it. Yeah.
Look, that's why it's why it's awesome, because if this was a regular season, Jakob's run his plethora of races, high quality races, even if he didn't win the 1500, he's an absolute, almost a lock pick to win the 5K, unless there was some crazy Ethiopian revelation where they go out and try and run world. Somebody sacrificed himself and they run world record pace for at least 4K just to see what happens. But don't know. Anyway, I love that. I love that we've got. I agree with you. It's awesome, and we've got totally differing takes on that one. Cole Hocker, definitely an interesting guy at these championships, along with Mr. Ingebrigtsen. Hey, you've perked up a bit, Shane. You said to me you might only be able to go 50 minutes. What I reckon we do? I was just thinking. What I reckon we do is we do the tipping, or the looking at the odds and opportunities for value. Okay.
And then maybe should we save the legacy stuff for we can really focus on it properly? Perhaps after the world champs, we could focus on the current stuff. What do you reckon?
No, that's fine.
And that can keeps this on topic of these championships.
Good.
Because we've got a whole winter of athletics to fill in with all the legacy stuff.
Exactly. Agree with you. Okay, so we're
value betting,
or hey, so does this officially mean? Hey, Shane, we mentioned this. We've mentioned this story a few times on the podcast. The story of the now disbanded sports betting syndicate, track and field sports betting syndicate.
It's sort of as controversial as Athletics West and the Nike Oregon project. It was a headline act that was destined for greatness and just imploded.
Do you want to tell the millions of fans and viewers out there the story of the sports betting syndicate?
The most succinct way to sum it up is we've got a bone to pick with Asphalt Kiprop, and it's not because he took EPO.
We wish he'd had for that championships.
Oh, he was hopeless. We had our life savings on Asphalt Kiprop and that, because he was paying quite well, wasn't he? Like $3 or $3.50.
Was it? Yeah, wasn't it part of a parlay as well? Didn't we have a bunch of multi-bet?
It was terrible. It was. And then we had that bet. Do you remember that bet we had? Something to do with whether Legat had got second in one of the world champs, and that was to add insult to injury. It was like for $100 or something like that, and it was outside the actual TAB betting we were doing. And then you realise you were wrong, and you had to empty out your piggy bank. And I went off to work with a sack of coins. That's all I had left.
Yeah, it was back in 2009 for the world champs.
2009,
right? And it was almost
terrible.
Like the first time that we'd realised that the TAB in New Zealand were doing. Like they were opening up the odds on track and field, and we, a couple of young know-it-all track and field fans were like, "Oh, we've got the inside intel here." They're like, well, no way. And anyway, so it was either just a one-off bet on Kiprop, but I'm sure there were some parlay bets. He was tied in with some other bets that hit as well. I think we'd had, who else might we had in there? I can't remember, but all I remember with you is you coming over early morning to watch the final. It was in Rada Street where I was staying with Turvey, sitting down watching the couch, watching this 1500 final, and Kiprop starts messing around at the back of the field. He's running out in lane 3. He's moving up and down through the field, and we're like, no, he's fine, man. He's just, this is what he does. He's going to, and then he just completely effed out, and it was just sorry, we can swear on the channel, right?
He's hopeless.
Fucking disaster. And we've never been so despondent because back then I was a student and you were you were still working as a
fledgling junior lawyer, burnt out fledgling junior lawyer
at Fortune Batting.
Oh,
And like you said, we'd bet all our piggy bank savings on this guy to come through
literally.
and just fucked us. And then the worst part about it is afterwards he went on this big tear and won all these world titles and ran 326. And anyway, so after that, the sports betting syndicate disbanded.
It got disbanded, and I made a
world.
comeback actually for the Olympics last year.
Yes.
First of all, I had a chunk of money on Barrega, my pick for this year. He's gonna do me right and he flamed out. He got about 5th or 6th.
But your best pick was?
He was a good bet. No, my second best pick was I had money on Farah's training partner, the guy in the marathons, Bashir Abdi. He was paying like $5 or $6 or maybe $7 to get a marathon medal, and he was a medalist in the previous Olympics, and he had got, I think, some really high percentage, like 60% of marathons or something. He'd finished in the top 5 or top 10. It's so very consistent. He came through. He got me a little bit of money. Then I put that on unsuccessfully on Hopple for a medal. He got 4th, which was pretty gut wrenching. And then my big one was Georgia Hunter Bell.
That's right.
I think I had a couple of $100 on her. She was paying, get this, she was paying, I believe, about $7 or $8. There were these bets last year you could bet on them to get 2nd or 3rd. I didn't think she was going to get 1st, of course, because of faith. But for second, she was paying either $12 or $13 to get the exact place, 2nd or 3rd. But to get 2nd or 3rd, she was paying, I believe it was 7 or 8 to 1. Or no, I think it might have been 12. It was a lot anyway.
I remember you won a couple of $1,000.
Georgia Hunter Bell, a couple of $1,000 for a very low investment. So there's money to be made out there, folks. Not that we're endorsing gambling. Be careful. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose.
Hey, but it is good that we're touching on this. I mean, this could be the future of interest in track and field gambling. So anyway, I was wondering.
Every other sport does it. There was a great post. There was a great post actually from Mike King, who I do quite like. He's done a lot of great work with in sort of the mental health field. And some young Māori influencer got, I think it was Paul Holmes's daughter, Millie Elder Holmes. She got sanctioned because she promoted some crypto scheme or something, and she got like either the DIA or she got like in trouble for it for some offshore. And then Mike King came out and quite rightly said, "This is really hypocritical. How could she be sanctioned for this when all of these household names are on the NRL feed giving odds on the screen as if it's like somehow like couched in this really like above board normalized thing that everyone does, going, here's your odds, they use words like time to invest. Oh, look at this guy to score a try at $6 to 1. That's no different to what she was doing. So it's in our culture, like it or not.
Yeah, mate, it's like the NBA here, right? So the NBA, obviously, they're running now into these problems with these guys who aren't main players on rosters, right? Who can come in at the end of games and influence things by just giving up baskets and missing free throws and all this nonsensical stuff. And they're all up in arms about it. They're all upset about it. And yet all the American professional sports now are in bed with gambling agencies. So it's like you've created this situation for yourself. You can't turn around and get upset about it. But anyway, that we could say that for another time as well.
Yeah.
We digress. Okay. Hey, so I went through and I pulled these off DraftKings, which is the like the American betting site that I can use here on the West Coast. I think they're pretty even for the other sort of betting website. I guess they're pretty similar also for the TAB or William Hill. Okay, have a look at this one. I went through and just highlighted a few interesting ones that I thought were pretty good, and we can discuss them quickly. So in the men's 100 meters, listen to this. Kenny Bednarek is plus 1,300 in the 100 meters, right? So that's basically like paying, I think it's in Kiwi terms, it's like paying 13 to 1, right? Now, listen to this. Like he's extremely motivated to beat Lyles because of their little spat after the US trials. He ran 9.79 in that trials final, which is the same as Noah's PR that he ran to win in Paris, right? Kenny's was with a plus 1.8. Noah's was with a plus 1.0 win. So there's very little difference there. And even worse is this is Oblique Seville, right? The all-time leader in kind of looking amazing throughout the rounds and then totally shitting the bed in the final is by comparison paying plus 275. So Kenny Bednarek, man, at plus 1,300. Look, if you think Shane Thompson is injured and hurt, which he very well may be, also as well, he bottled the final 50 meters of that Olympic final and tossed it away. Bednarek is, for all intents and purposes, right now in his career, in terms of a ceiling, as good as Noah Lyles, paying 1,300. Great value there. In the 3,000 meter steeplechase, Kenneth Rooks, who pushed Bakali all the way to the line. I mean, and we thought Hocker's win was awesome in the 1,500, but Rooks nearly winning that 3K was probably even more incredible. Like, came out of absolute obscurity last year. He's paying he is paying the plus 3,000 to win the steeplechase this year, right?
30-1.
Yep. If Rooks is healthy, I really don't understand these odds at all, right? How can that be possible? One that I highlighted here, Corrales in the pole vault, plus 1,500. Now, Mondo is a ridiculous minus 10,000 here, right? So basically impossible to bet. But you know what? Mondo made some comments recently around that, basically was insinuating that it's never over until it's over in the pole vault, and nothing is ever a lock. You could have just an off day, something could go wrong, etc., etc. I don't know if that's some kind of karmic foreshadowing here, but if Mondo somehow didn't, if he had a bad day and just didn't get it right or didn't feel well and was off and didn't win, this guy Corrales from Greece has been extremely good this year, and he's absolutely going to medal in these championships, and he's paying plus 1,500. Anything from your side? I'm just reeling these off.
I like Ethan Strand at 34-1 for $100, or I like Brazier at 8-1. I think that's good money. I like both Kerr and Hocker at around, I haven't committed it to memory, I believe both are 7 or 8-1 in New Zealand terms.
Hocker currently plus 650. His odds have gone down a little bit. They were plus 700 yesterday.
Yeah.
Kerr is plus 550. Oh, sorry, I think he's plus 500 or 550. Anyway.
Yeah,
exactly. Faniel Coach also 550. I wouldn't go near him. But you know what's really interesting in that men's 1,500? Jakob plus 350. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what the basis for that is. I mean, even when he's been healthy, he hasn't been able to.
They don't know what they're talking about. What's Jonah Koech paying?
Jonah Koech is it's all these pluses and paying. It's messing me up. He is paying plus 1,100.
I mean, that's not a bad shout, because I mean, I went and watched that US trials to see how good Hocker looked or didn't look before I made my little bet. And
Koech was even better.
He pissed him. He looked so good. Yeah.
I know.
He just ran away from Strand. Strand's got a great kick.
Either way, the one that really jumped off the page for me in that 1,500 was definitely Kerr at plus 500. I just think that is insanely good odds for a guy who always gets it right in big championships. And with no Jakob there, and again with Laros, right? I mean, yes, he's been awesome, but this is the first time he's ever entered the championships with legitimate expectations on his shoulder. Who knows what's going to happen on that one? Some other ones here, just quickly. The hurdles and the 110 hurdles, Holloway is paying plus 400, right? Tinch is the favorite, and Holloway isn't even the second favorite. but he's still the Olympic champion. He's still the 3-time world champion going for 4 in a row, right? And he's arguably, I think, not really an argument. He's still the most talented guy when he gets it right. So that just seems like really good odds for him. New Zealand's own Hamish Kerr. This one is crazy to me, right? Plus 300 in the men's high jump, right? That's way too high.
It's come down. It was $4. It was $3.75.
Okay. Yeah. So the favourite Wu from South Korea, he's won all his comps this year, but he hasn't jumped since the 11th of July in Monaco. Hamish Kerr, reigning Olympic champion, so we know he can perform when he gets it right, and he's in a way broken the seal with respect to winning at these big events, which sometimes can be contagious moving forward. And he just won the Diamond League final. That just seems crazy. Couple of interest, and maybe just to round out the men's, the discus. Not that I'm an absolute discus aficionado here, but I have been following a little bit this situation with Alekna in this world record that has just been exploding out of control because of the throw center in Ramona, Oklahoma, where they just get these gale force winds coming from the side. There are no wind limits for throwing a discus, even though it seems to now be as advantageous as a large tailwind in the sprints. So Alekna's the world record holder at minus 250, but he did that in that Ramona setup. His best non-Ramona throw, I looked this up, is 72 meters 15. And in Zurich and Brussels this year, he threw 68 meters in the high. Now, this dude who was the NCAA champion from Jamaica, Mullins, right? He is paying plus 600. He won in Brussels and beat Alekna, right? And Jamaica has all of a sudden become this weird powerhouse in discus throwing because the current Olympic champion is also from Jamaica, and it's not even this dude. So my hot tip there for value is this guy Mullins to win, paying plus 600, because I just don't think that Alekna is as good. Well, I know for a fact he's not as good when he doesn't get to throw in this open windswept field in the middle of nowhere in the United States. There you go. Men's takes. And then let's go through these ones quickly. There's not a lot on the women's side here, but I did notice it in the long jump. Mihaela Mahambo, she is 12th all-time longest jumper. She's 12 centimeters ahead of Tara Davis-Woodall, the reigning Olympic champion who won that in a bit of a surprise. She's paying plus 450. Woodhull's the favorite at minus 340. In an event like the long jump where just, once again, you just never know timing, runoff, like the approach run with the board, et cetera, can be very, very random. I like those odds. Women's 1500, only a fall really dictates this one. But if you believe something crazy is going to happen in that one, Jess Hull is at plus 900.
It's a waste of time.
I know it is. I know. But get this, Hull is at plus 900, Nikki Hiltz plus 700. So Hiltz is more favoured in this one than Jessica Hull.
But yeah, they are terrible bets. Like you just like that's a joke. The one that's better is in the 800. I think Wero and Georgia Hunt-Bell are both paying either 13 or 14 to 1, or so plus 1,300 to 1,400 in your terms.
Yeah.
I mean, they are way more likely to beat Keeley than anyone is to beat Faith, and they're paying what you're telling me, like twice what those other women are paying in the 1,500.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And the rest of the women's side's pretty. Out of interest, what is NASA paying in the women's 400?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that one. So the women's 400, right. Get this. Who do you think is the favourite in that one?
SML.
SML is the favourite at plus 100.
Yeah, but these guys, it's ridiculous.
I know, it's ridiculous, right? It is. In my notes here I put, this seems like a very American line.
She's nowhere near as good as she's hyped up to be in the flat 400. She's had lots of opportunities now, and she's obviously a great athlete, but she sort of 48 high. There's no way she's going to break that world record. I'm usually more the bullish one out of the two of us on people's prospects. No way.
I feel like she could run 48.6, 48.5,
yeah, but I
8,
think
48.6.
so. Remind me, NASA's the one that was suspended.
Yes.
I just think NASA's got that, whether it's a residual thing or God knows what's going on. I think when people have that past, it scares me what they could do.
Right.
Going forward too.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, that ability to be superhuman when it counts, and I think NASA's got that ability.
Hey, and she won the Diamond League final, of course, ahead of Paulino, Audrey Paulino. And the odds are, so we've got SML at plus 100. Paulino is the fastest in the field at plus 125. And you're 100% right. I circled this too. NASA at plus 300. So paying 3-1. Like,
good odds.
Pretty awesome there for somebody who's just come off a Diamond League final win. I like that one. And then to close this out, we've got a couple of, coming from New Zealand, we've got a couple of New Zealand picks here. I'm going to save the best one for last. I mentioned it to you before we just came on air. But women's pole vault, if you believe that Kiwis can fly, this would be huge. Olympic medalist Eliza Band on the Run McCartney. See what I did there? She's paying plus 3,000 for the win. Olivia McTaggart plus 6,000, and this is the best one by far. Imogen Iris is paying plus 40,000 for the win. I mean, mate. If you stuck $5 on that one, I'm serious. Plus 40,000. I mean, they're essentially giving her no chance. They're just trying to take our money. But who knows, man? Stranger things have happened. You would hate for her to win and miss this life-changing opportunity. Anyway, but the best one. This is the best one, Shane. The hottest pick or the hottest piece of advice in the women's shot put. Right, Madison Lee-Resch from New Zealand is paying plus 5,000 for the win. Right, that is absolutely absurd. That is ridiculous. So she's the Olympic silver medalist from last year, right? And she lost by 14 centimeters. Okay. So that is about, what is that in inches for our American listeners here? About just over 3 inches. It's not very far. And even crazier is that she lost on the very last throw of the competition. So it was a heartbreaking loss, right? She's thrown 20.06 this year, right? And typically these championships are won at about 20 meters in this particular era. In fact, she didn't even throw that far to get the silver last year, and that is even further than what the gold medal throw was. She's currently the 6th best odds, right, at plus 5,000, which just seems absolutely ridiculous to me. So unless she's hurt, which I have no idea how any bookmaker coming up with these odds and track and field would know if Madison Lee-Resch from New Zealand is a shot putter on the women's side of the draw is hurt. That is honestly my number one value pick for these world championships. I know it's a bit of a homer pick too, but I just can't believe that she has the 6th best odds, reigning Olympic silver medalist, has a personal best that is easily good enough to win this event. That's it. Go and make yourself some money.
Good.
I was thinking about potentially doing like a fake $1 million situation here, where we would actually place $1 million of fake money and see if we came out on top. I mean, we could actually do that in real life, Shane. If you want to go a cool $500,000 each from the piggy bank in and see what.
I'm still traumatized from 2009.
We could do
Very
it.
good.
All right. Well, yeah. So
another one on the books.
Yeah, exactly. If we're going to save the legacy question for last, and then that's about it. Anything else from your side? Any more news you've seen?
No, let's wrap it up.
I know you're struggling, but you've done well. The talk energized you. It got you through an extra 20 or so minutes.
It did, but now I'll go lie down.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you do that, and good to chat again. And exciting times with.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the couch a lot, and couch a lot in the next few days.
About to kick off.
Beautiful.
All right, mate. Well, get some rest, and hope you feel better. And let's discuss how we're going to cover these world champs over the next.
Text machine will be going off in the next few days.
Sure will.
Sleep
All right,
off the couch. All right, mate. Take
All
it
the
easy.
best. We'll see you soon.
See you, mate.
See ya.